Welcome in to 5-Day Crypto. My name is Chase, level 1 CMT and full-time trader. Today we're going to look at Chainlink. We're going to start off on the 4-hour chart, zoomed way in. Then we'll take a step back, look at the daily and the weekly. We'll look at all these lines on our chart, talk about everything, high-low targets, everything in between. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you want more help navigating this market, more help with altcoins, where to buy the dip, where to sell the rip, altcoin markets, Bitcoin dominance, DXY, stock market. We talk about everything in our private Telegram group. You can join below through Patreon, and no surprises. We update many extra videos there, a lot of extra content, and some, good extra tips there on a daily basis. If you're interested, check it out. Otherwise, let's get right to it. Chainlink on the 4-hour. What the hell is this line? Well, that's more prominent on the higher time frames. And these will remain our key zones for Chainlink on the downside, right? We're going down at this point. This pink line right here is our 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart, right around the $18 mark. Is that all it is on the 4-hour chart? Is that all we are? Nope, this is just our swing lows on the 4-hour chart, but it's bigger on the higher time frame. So for the short time frame, we could find a bounce here. We could find a short-term floor or a long-term floor. We might not go below 18. We're very close right now, so maybe even by the time you watch this video, look for the daily close. So speaking of daily, let's go to that. So on the daily chart, it's our swing lows back in here, right? That's our EMA 34 right there as well. If we breach this and start to close below it on a daily scale, we're looking at our zone here, our previous zone, our previous resistance that we held all the way back in November, again in December, again in late December, and fast forward to January, still resistance, and that's where we broke out. So as we talked about in our video yesterday, we're looking at a potential throwback, which is just a bullish retest of that breakout zone. So you can extend that, and that starts around 17 all the way down to 16. So if you're a believer in Chainlink, you want to get more, that's a great spot to do it. If not, maybe you start to dollar cost average even right here around this $18 mark, because that is more significant even on the 4-hour chart, even on the daily chart. If we zoom out to the bigger picture, how about the weekly chart? Yes, the weekly chart. Why the weekly? Well, look at these previous two highs all the way back from the bear market of 2022. A high close in January and a high close in April of 2022. That's where this wick is as of right now. We could end up wicking lower on the weekly, maybe to the EMA 8, which is just above that zone, right? Well, let's stretch it out and zoom in here. Right, this is what we're looking at for Chainlink to potentially bounce, maybe with a wick down here. It would kind of capture some of these high wave wicks here. Potential kind of throwback. Maybe it's quicker than a lot of people expect, right? If we go lower, the worst case scenario would always be on a bull market, especially this time frame, right? It's 2 months before the halving for Bitcoin. You want to be buying. At worst case scenario is that the 21 week. Now, am I saying Chainlink has a potential to go back to $14? No. Why is that? Well, I see it there, but it's rising. Look at this. Week over week, we're rising like over $1 per week. So it could be, a matter of weeks here before we get to it, right? Even if our prices move down, we'll start to level off here. So even March, we're still looking around this same zone that we looked at on the daily, even the 4-hour. $16 to $17 is a great spot across multiple time charts. That's what you want to be looking for, right? So no matter if and when we hit this zone, that's where you'd want to be accumulating more, especially if we kind of play this out textbook, bullish throwback to this zone, hold the 21 week, and then it's good night, right? It's bears are slaughtered, extinct until the next bear market, and the bulls are in full control at that point if this happens. Now, we could very well bounce at the EMA 8. We don't have to go all the way down. I'm just saying worst case scenario, we could absolutely bounce at the EMA 8 on the weekly. We don't even have to go down there, right? We have this line, right, that we talked about from previous bear market. These high closes right here, also significant. We could absolutely bounce there, right? Closing is the most important thing to be watching for. Wicks can go anywhere. We could wick down, whatever. Like, look at all these high wave wicks, right? Wicks tell a story, but if you just put it on the closing prices, it's much more, easy to spot how bullish we are, right? We're still very bullish, holding the EMA 14 on the close, EMA 8, like almost got like this little bit of a mini inverse head and shoulders, right? You see that shoulder, head, right? And then the breakout here. So oftentimes you're going to kind of throw back to that level, retest it, and then, rip again. So that's what we're looking for, especially for altcoins. Still holding bullish above 520 billion, right? That's, we've been tracking that as well. Similar things, right? Looking pretty familiar. Going back to, our weekly chart and monthly chart, right? If you go on to altcoins, right? This is the total 3. Why does this make sense? Well, look at the monthly, our previous swing lows on where we started to sell off on the initial bull run of 2021, right? And that's the low, flipping to resistance and potentially breaking through here, right? So our next target is considerably higher for alts. So you don't want to get too greedy if we have a pullback, right? Like if we move back down, all these altcoins today are on sale. I mean, Link is 4% off. So let's say you have just a little bit of money. You have $1,000 you want to put in Link. Do you just go all in at any given point? Not likely. That's not usually recommended. But on red days, maybe you just put in, $40, 4% down, $40, right? Do 4% of your $1,000, right? Or 10% or something like that, right? Dollar cost averaging in and out of markets is usually the best bet and usually the best for your ROI. Going all in or all out, maybe you can speak from experience, right? Is usually you're not going to you're not going to do well timing the tops and bottoms. So just a little subtle tips and tricks like that. We're looking at, this is the Link on the monthly chart. I mean, look how nice and spread open the Bollinger Bands are, diverging from each other. Powerful move. When looking at the macro scale here, I mean, Chainlink is looking at big things. However, right, these swing lows, I mean, you could paint this zone, right? This is a huge zone going from 15 all the way to, right where we are now, this low close from the initial sell-off again, right? $15 to $20. This is why Chainlink is maybe a little bit more boring than some other coins during this time, right? It's nothing against Chainlink, as contrary to popular belief on X, right? It's on simmer, right? Once we break this zone, simmer gone, water gone, rocket ship gone, rocket ship go boom above level. Okay, $20, right? That's the level, not based on my opinion or my neighbor's opinion, right? That's based on this chart. A monthly perspective chart from Chainlink says, boom goes the dynamite above 20. All right. Quote and card of the day. Let's get right to it. Just kidding. Maybe not. It's not death that a man should fear, but rather he should fear never beginning to live. Try something new. Card of the day. Tesla Cybertruck. We got the interior view first. Maybe some of you have never seen the inside of one, right? Bigger screen in any Tesla. Crazy looking steering wheel. Flat bottom, I kind of dig it. I like the cup holders, the octagons. Let's get to some more pics. There's a side view. Look how polished it is. Maybe if you've seen pictures online, I wasn't aware until I saw this in person. This is me taking pictures. How shiny it is. It's much more shiny than I thought. There's the side view. Front, right? Pretty epic looking. Pretty striking in person. Pretty big. Takes up lots of room. Tesla Cybertruck card of the day. Flannel shirt, Chainlink shirt of the day. Sign of the day, week, month, and year. There's the Cybertruck right there. Holy shit.